All right, so I just finished watching a video, and the Lord keeps pressing in my spirit to speak. Basically to encourage the people, and to the darkness or enemies are prevailing, and He wants us to fight against them. And it's confusing because when I'm in those realms, I am, speaking what He's given me, and I can communicate with Him and everything. But then something happens, and it's like, don't do this again. The pages, I'll flip the page, and he'll tell me, don't do this again. And I can feel a whole different energy telling me not to do this again. And how dare I get high and whatnot to get to the realms, and that's the realm of darkness and all this. So it's confusing. So that's why I'm like, okay, I get scared and I put it away. So I don't understand. It's very confusing. That's why I say I'm not going to do it anymore. It's not as if I am giving up on anybody, because I still want to fulfill whatever He's telling me to do. But being in that kingdom, it's a little bit scary. And that's why I said what I said. He told me that He was going to give it over to the person, David. And he can lead the people. And my job is done, I guess. I'm going to move on to do other things. And it sounds like I'm giving up on people. Look, that my son coming into his marriage chamber, happened to have a fail and died. This was destruction that came to Jerusalem. And behold, thou sawest her likeness, and because she mourned for her son, thou beganest to comfort her. And of these things which have chanced, these are to be opened unto thee. For now the Most High seeth that thou art grieved unfeignedly, and suffereth for thy whole heart for her. So hath He showed thee the brightness of her. So has He showed thee the brightness of her glory, and the comeliness of her beauty. And therefore I bade thee remain in the field where no house was builded, basically in the heavenly realms, right, in the field, because there's no houses there. For I knew that the highest would show this unto thee. Therefore I commanded thee to go into the field where no foundation of any building was. For in the place wherein the Most Highest beginneth to show His city, there can no man's building be able to stand. And therefore fear not, and let not thy heart be affrighted, but go thy way in, and see the beauty and greatness of the building, as much as thine eyes be able to see, because I only see in part, as much as thy eyes are able to see. And then shalt thou hear as much as thine ears may comprehend. For thou art blessed above many other, and art called with the highest, and so are but few. But tomorrow at night thou shalt remain here, and so shall the highest show thee visions of the high things, which the Most High will do unto them that dwell upon the earth in the last days. So I slept at night, and another, like as He commanded me. This is the second book of Esdras that I'm reading, the second book of Esdras, chapter 11. Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. And I saw, and behold, she spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds winds. He says, winds I make, my prophets I make winds. He calls winds of the air. Okay, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together, and I beheld, and out of her feathers and out of her feathers grew other contrary feathers. Okay, so it's like, when I was like, don't do this, like the other spirit that has shifted it, I was just saying. And they became little feathers and small, but her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other, yet rested it with the residue. The residue, he's talking about with the stuff. Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and reigned upon the earth, and over them that dwell therein, in the heavenly realms. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spake against her. No, not one creature upon the earth. It's good to know. Thank you, Lord. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose upon her talons, and spake to her feathers, saying, Watch not all at once. Sleep everyone in his own place, and watch by course. So watch not, this is the message he's given, watch not all at once. Sleep everyone in his own place, and watch by course. But let the heads be preserved for the last. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her head. But from the midst of her body. And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them. And I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose one feather, and reigned over all the earth. And so it was, that when it rained, the end of it came, and the place thereof appeared no more. So the next following stood up and reigned. So the next person following stood up and reigned, and had a great time. And it happened that when it rained, the end of it came also, as the first, and so that appeared no more. And it happened that when it rained, the end of it came also, like as the first, so that it appeared no more. Then came there a voice unto it, and said, Hear thou that has borne rule over the earth so long. This I say unto thee, before thou beginnest to appear no more, before you begin to appear no more, there shall none after thee attain unto thy time, neither unto the half thereof. Okay, there shall none after thee attain unto thy time, neither unto the half thereof. Then arose the third, and reigned as the other before, and appeared no more also. So it went with all the residue, one after another, all the people in the heavenly realms. As that everyone reigned, and then appeared no more. And then I beheld, and lo, in process of time, the feathers that followed stood up upon the right side, that they might rule also. And some of them ruled, but within a while they appeared no more. For some of them were set up, but ruled not. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more, nor the 2 little feathers. And there was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads that rested, 6 little wings. And then saw I also that 2 little feathers divided themselves from the 6, and remained under the head that was upon the right side. For the 400 continued in their place, for the 400 continued in their place. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wing thought to set up themselves and to have the rule. And the 4 feathers that were under the wing thought to set up themselves and to have rule. And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. And the second was sooner away. This was away sooner than the first. Okay, so let's skip it. Okay, it's a bunch of that. Sorry, I'm just gonna skip it. And the head was turned with them that were with it, and did it. Sorry, under the way. I don't understand it, so I'm gonna skip it. I have to do that for now. It'll give me clarity after. Okay, Lord. After this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings that remain into heaven. So let's skip a little bit here because it keeps on. For the earth has thou not judged with truth. For the earth has thou not judged with truth. For thou hast afflicted the meek. Thou hast hurt the peaceable. Thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore, in thy wrongful dealing, come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty, The highest also has looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled, and therefore appear no more. Thou eagle, nor thou horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws. I know who he's talking about. I know exactly, Sean. He said that. Yep. Nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed. So don't appear anymore, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, that she may hope for the judgment of mercy of him that made her, and that she may hope for the judgment of mercy for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. And it came to pass, while the lion spake these words unto the eagle, I saw, and behold, the head that remained and the 4 wings appeared no more. And the 2 went unto it and set themselves up to reign. And their kingdom was small, and fill up uproar. I wrote over it. So, and I saw, and behold, they appeared no more. And the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear. Then awaked I out of the trouble and trance of my mind. Then I awoke. I got out of my trouble, my trance, and from great fear, and said unto my spirit, Lo, this hast thou done unto me, in that thou searchest out the ways of the highest. That you search out the way of the highest. Lo, yet I am weary in mind, I am very weak in spirit, and little strength is there in me. For the great fear wherewith I was afflicted this night, therefore will I now beseech the highest, that he will comfort me unto the end. And I said, Lord, that bearest rule. If I have found grace before thy sight, and if I am justified with thee before many others, and if my prayer indeed be come up before thy face, comfort me then, and show me thy servant the interpretation and plain difference of this fearful vision, that thou mayest perfectly comfort my soul. For thou hast judged me worthy to show me the last times. And he said to me, This is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest coming from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel. But it was not expounded unto him, therefore now I declare it unto thee. Behold, the days will come, that there shall rise up a kingdom upon the earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it. In the same shall the 12 kings reign. In the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another, whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12. And this do the 12 wings signify, which thou sawest. As for the voice which thou heardest speak, and that thou sawest not go out from the heads, but from the midst of the body thereof, this is the interpretation, that after the time of that kingdom there shall arise a great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of failing. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning. And whereas thou sawest eight small under feathers sticking to her wings, this is the interpretation, that in him there shall arise 8 kings. That's why he says, get out of her, my people, get out of her, do not, because they're the, okay, that he says, okay, anyways, I'll explain. Whose time shall be but small, and their years swift. Okay, that in him there shall arise 8 kings, whose times shall be but small, and their years swift. And 2 of them shall perish in the middle time approaching. 4 shall be kept until their end begin to approach, but 2 shall be kept until the end. Whereas thou sawest 3 heads resting, this is interpretation. In the last days shall the Most High raise up 3 kingdoms, and renew many things therein, and they shall have the dominion of the earth. And those that dwell therein with much oppression above all those that were before them, therefore are they before them, therefore are they called the heads of the eagle. For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and that shall finish his last end. For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and that shall finish his last end. Whereas thou sawest the great heads appear no more, it signifies that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. For the 2 that remain shall be slain with the sword, and the sword of the one that devoured the other. For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself. And whereas thou sawest 2 feathers under the wings passing over the head that is on the right side, it signifies that these are they whom the highest hath kept unto their end. This is the small kingdom and full of trouble, as thou sawest. And the lion whom thou sawest rising up out of the wood, and roaring, and speaking to the eagle, and rebuking her for her unrighteousness, and all the words which thou hast heard. This is the anointed, which the highest has kept for them. This is the anointed which the highest has kept for them, for their wickedness unto the end. He shall reprove them, and shall upbraid them with their cruelty. For he shall set them before him alive in judgment, and he shall rebuke them and correct them. For the rest of my people shall he deliver with mercy. Those that have been pressed upon my borders, and he shall make them joyful until the coming of the day of judgment. Okay, and he shall make them joyful until the coming of the day of judgment, whereof I have spoken unto thee from the beginning. This is the dream that thou sawest, and these are the interpretation. Thou only has been meet to know this secret of the highest. Therefore write all these things that thou hast seen in a book, and hide them, and teach them to the wise of the people, whose hearts thou knowest may comprehend and keep these secrets. But wait thou here thyself, yet 7 days more. Oh my God, 7 more days, because he already told me 7 days the last time. 7 days more, that it may be showed thee whatsoever it pleaseth the highest to declare unto thee. And with that he went his way. And it came to pass, when all the people saw that the 7 days were past, and I not come again into the city, they gathered them all together, from the least unto the greatest, and came unto me and said, What have we offended? What have we offended thee? And what evil have we done against thee, that thou forsakest us, and sittest here in this place? For all the prophets thou only are left us. For of all the prophets thou only art left, as a cluster of the vintage, and as a candle in the dark place, and as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest. Are not the evils which are come to us sufficient? If thou shalt forsake us, how much better had it been for us if we had also been burned in the midst of Sion? For we are not better than they that died there. And they wept with a loud voice. Then answered I them, and said, because this is God talking through me, and that's why it's confusing. I don't know how to explain it, but it's the Lord, because there's a Bible verse that says, a cry came out to me from the earth, so I had to come down to see what was going on, to see if this report that I heard was true. And then he manifested himself, and that's when it started happening. But so that's why, and it took me a while to understand, because sometimes it's him, and then sometimes it's me, and then sometimes it's a conversation between both of us. It's just crazy, but yeah, and it's real. I can feel it. It's the supernatural. Okay, and I not come again into the city. They gathered them all together, from the least unto the greatest, and came unto me and said, What have we done? Okay, I read this. For all the prophets thou only are left us, as a cluster of the vintage, and as a candle in the dark place, and as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest. Are not the evils which are come to us sufficient? If thou shalt forsake us, how much better had it been for us if we also had been burned in the midst of Sion? For we are not better than they that died there. And they wept with a loud voice. Then answered I them, and said, Be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not heavy, thou house of Jacob. For the highest hath you in remembrance, and the mighty hath not forgotten you in temptation. As for me, I have not forsaken you, neither am I departed from you, but am come into this place to pray for the desolation of Sion, and that I might seek mercy for the low estate of your sanctuary. And now go your way home, every man. And after these days I will come unto you. So the people went their way into the city, like as I commanded them. But I remained still in the field 7 days, as the angel commanded me. And did I eat only in those days of the flowers of the field, and had my meat of the herbs. And it came to pass after the 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves. And I beheld, and lo, a man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. Like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. Like the earth faileth. He says he compares the earth to a woman in the Bible. It's like she fails when she feels a fire. So when you get the bad visions, you freak out and you quit. And that's why he says you fail. I don't know how I understand all this. Okay, after this I beheld, and lo, I was gathered a multitude of... Okay, after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number. Out of number. Okay, so eternal life, right? But not only that, he says... there's some that he numbers, but there's some that the numbers... Well, okay. I can't explain it because I want to speak it verbatim. Sorry. From the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Oh, wow. After this, I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea, which is the heavenly realms, I believe. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore and afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the greatest tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up everyone. And so upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Oh boy. All right, so I'm going to stop here. He showed me now the interpretation of this dream, for I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. Woe unto them that are not left behind. Yeah, you should. Okay, so I get there. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I these things. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them, and to those that are left behind. That's what he means. So, guys, what I'm interpreting, get out of the heavenly realms, because he is bringing... I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what is going to happen, but he's doing something. He only lets me know some stuff. I know that he did say he's going to bring his Holy Spirit on the earth, but I believe that you have to get rid of the drug, to receive it. Because I read it somewhere where it said it was something like a conversion, where he, like, he's like, it's... I don't know how to explain it. Lord, give me the words. Okay, let's see if it happens, if he'll explain it. For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them, and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into the great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see these things happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, The interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the thing that thou hast required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time has kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith towards the Almighty. Are such as have works and faith. Okay. No, is it done? Okay, I'm trying to hurry up. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that are dead. Yep. This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea, the same is he whom God the highest hath kept a great season, for which his own self shall deliver his creature, and shall he order them that are left behind. Okay. And sorry, I'm just like trying to hurry up. Okay. I'm trying to hurry up because of the timer. Okay, so the same is he whom God the highest has kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of fire and wind and storm, okay, and that he held neither sword nor an instrument for war, but the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is interpretation. Behold, the days are coming when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another city, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time and shall be when these things shall come to pass. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared. Then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. Yeah, I told you. So basically, when you get rid of, when he's gone, when he, okay, because Jesus is coming, right? Okay, so once he's gone, then 3 days later the Spirit's coming. Once the dark, whatever, the meth, whatever, once you get rid of and cleanse it, then the real Jesus is coming. All right, hold on. Oh, it's crazy though. Okay, let me see. So okay, at the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared. This time has a capital S for son. Then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. Jesus ascending, right? He was ascending in the clouds. And when all the people heard his voice, every man shall in their own land leave. Okay, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have against one another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion. But he shall stand on the top of Mount Zion, the sun, right? On the top of Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. And shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented. Which are like unto a flame. And he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto me. Whereas thou sawest whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, So then he gathered another peaceable multitude. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, the realms, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. Okay, that's what he's telling. So basically, it's you carry the person out of the waters. Oh boy, I don't know how to explain it, Lord. Okay, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, the new heavens, right? And that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. That's the Exodus, is it? No, it's not the Exodus. But okay, similar. So basically, he's basically taking you to another land, right? Through Sinai. You see, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. So it's a new thing that he's doing. I'm doing a new thing. That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. Because it's going to be like, okay. Then, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. And through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsir. Okay, and they dwelt there, and then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now, when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. The highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, right? So it means it wasn't again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. Then you saw the multitude with peace, because now they're in a different place. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. Now, when he destroyeth the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain, and then he show them great wonders. Then shall he show them great wonders. Then said I, O Lord that bearest rule, show me this. Wherefore have I seen the man coming up from the midst of the sea? And he said unto me, like as thou canst, same way you can see this and this and this and this. Well, then that's the way you can see that. I don't know. Okay. So the same way you can't see this and you can't do, so thou cannot seek out. So, okay, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon the earth see my son, or those that be with him, but in the daytime. So you have to be sober, because he says this, okay? But in the daytime, you cannot be high. He wants us to get sober. This is the interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art here lightened. Where did I see? Oh, I saw only, but I don't see it anymore. I'm like, hold on, do I not read it? The interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art here and here lightened. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna stop reading there. All right, God bless you guys. I love y'all. Oh boy. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such as them as be in trouble. And now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man, and put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. So get away from the realms before he destroys. Judgment day's coming, and if we're in the realms and we don't repent and we don't turn to him, we're going to feel his wrath, because he's going to do something. Whoever's in the realms is going to get it. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen than that. Okay. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen, that thou hast seen happen, shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age. So much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. For the time is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasteth the vision to come which thou hast seen. Then answered I before thee, and said, Behold, Lord, I will go, as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present. But they shall be born afterward. Who shall admonish them? Who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. For thy law is burnt. Therefore no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. I know, Lord. Okay, so listen to this. So he's got some work for us. And I've been trying to get, okay, Lord. I've been trying to, he says to pass away as a cloud of the world. Okay, anyways, I'll get there. I'm trying to get a people together because he's trying to have us do something. He told me he wants us, he has a job for us. And he told me to gather the tribes and to, but the men think that that I'm not capable of doing this, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, he told me, gather the people, my people, and I will show you what you are to do. Because he's doing something, he has a plan, and we have to, I guess, save the people, or whatever it is. I'm not sure, and he's not going to tell me right now. And maybe, whatever, there's certain things that he has revealed to me, but I need to gather the people. So, with that being said, email address, susana.guzman8@icloud.com. I hope that YouTube plays this video, because our nation needs, we need to stop the evil, because right now there's people in those realms and they're using it for evil. They're doing wicked things. They're killing people. They're eating people. They're eating their kids. And that's not good. And whatever it is that he's doing, I can't see what he's doing. I'm just speaking what he's telling me to speak. And you know, and I know that we're doing something, because there's days that it's really good, and there's days that I did really bad, and he'll tell me, like, you know, like if I, you know, I don't know how he does it, but yeah, he does. He's amazing. But he wants us to do, I think, it's some labor work. I have an idea what it is, but yeah. So, yeah. Whoever, you know, has believed that God is talking through me, you know, definitely I would like to. You know what I would like? I would like all the people who say that they are of God, who are in the realms. I would like for us to just unite and not have to worry about me being a woman. Because I'm not trying to, I'm just trying to speak his word. That's it. Obviously, something's going on with whatever leader, whatever it is that's going on. But yep, he's the one who gave me the message. So anyways, God bless you guys. Love you. Take care. You know, pray that we don't get caught in the day of judgment.